I am thrilled to welcome Madhavi Bezwada, VP of Client Success at Waystar, to the stage. I know cross-functional alignment and transparency is something that she and her team are making significant strides on. So welcome, Madhavi.
Hi, Karen.
Hi.
Thank you for having me. I'm thrilled to be here. Just kind of jumping into my background. I've been in the healthcare space for about 15 years. I started off in the consulting space and then went to the provider side. That was really important to me before I jumped into the CS world. It happened about 9 years ago when a former colleague of mine reached out and asked if I wanted to join Waystar to help build a CS team. You know, at the time it was called account management. And I know we use that kind of interchangeably, but I was coming from the provider side. And this is so important to me because at the time I said, you know, I've worked with a lot of vendors and I don't want to go to that side. I really want to go to a space where I'm building partnerships, where I'm focused on a consultative approach that's rooted in driving results for our clients. And that's exactly what we've been focused on in our CS organization at Waystar for almost a decade. And it's been such an evolving and iterative journey.
That's incredible. I mean, you picked up on it, right? We've talked about it this morning. It's about results, driving results for your clients and customers. So let's get into that a little bit because Waystar has been embracing an incredible amount of growth, both organically and through acquisitions recently. And I can only imagine that that's really changed the dynamics within your organization and especially for your leadership team. When we were preparing a few weeks ago, Madhavi, you mentioned what you call a culture of listen and learn. I love that. I don't think we listen enough these days, but you and your C-suite partners, your peers have been really embracing that. So can you tell everyone what is the listen and learn practice all about? And how has that been a positive attribute as you support the company through this level of growth?
Yeah, no, it's been listen and learn has been on my mind really since the beginning of the year, and just a little bit about growth and why the shift in moving to a listen and learn culture has been so critical. And when I started almost 8 or 9 years ago, we were about 10 people, and now we're at 75 through that organic and acquisition growth. It's just meant that, you know, for our clients, it's meant that we're offering all of these solutions, you know, coming from a single technology space into probably 20 plus offerings. It's meant a lot for our clients. It's meant a lot for the CSMs, meaning that they've got to be knowledgeable across all of that space. But what it means for CS and insights is really shifting how we listen and learn from our clients to drive both satisfaction, retention, and growth. I mean, I think across the CS space, all of us as leaders have high expectations on the value we deliver through an elevated client experience and demonstrable ROI. I think that shift is really rooted in our growth and at Waystar, more importantly, in our mission and our purpose to improve the financial health of our clients. So the practice of listen and learn is really simple in nature, you know, but it's really intentional in practice. So rather than gleaning actionable insights from siloed or single sources, our focus in 2023 has been gathering insights derived directly from our clients from areas that all of us, you know, are really familiar with, things like NPS, surveys through support and post-implementation. We do something called product insights, which is direct feedback from our clients that we feed back to our product team. Just like Totango, we've got our advisory board, we've got our user group conference, you know, our CSMs are constantly doing business reviews. And so it's really taking those insights from our client, directly from our clients, as well as indirectly through some of our third-party research. But what it means really tactically is taking these insights, and what we've done is group them into relevant segments. That could be different for every organization, but for us, it's market segment, it's product family. We've then aggregated that into dashboards that are accessible across the organization. They're accessible to marketing, product, operations, and sales. And then we're taking these themes and we're presenting them tactically, again, to these areas. The goal is that we're taking those insights and they're proactive. There's something we can do proactively around them, and then we can build proactive or cross-collaborative nurture strategies. For example, next week, we're presenting to our product team. An example is that there are some specific features that we're hearing from a segment of our clients that they'd like to see in our analytics tool. And then based on that feedback, if we believe that that's the right investment as an organization to put that on the roadmap, we know that it will improve satisfaction based on the feedback we've gotten from our clients. And we believe it will ensure retention and create valuable feature functionality from a growth perspective as well. So it's, it's tactically listening, but then how do you take those insights, share them with all of your partner organizations, and then build a nurture strategy around that?
Yeah, I mean, 100%, right? You can't just uncover the insight and sit on it. You have to create that visibility. I love that you're sharing those dashboards and results cross-functionally. That is the key to taking action on it. So listen and learn. Maybe that third part you can consider for 2024 is listen, learn, and act.
Exactly.
So maybe we could double down a little bit on that and how you are working across the C-suite, really collaborating specifically within that triad of your peers in product, marketing, and sales. So I'd love to know a little bit more about, what are you doing to strengthen those partnerships with your peers? Maybe what have you seen work really well? What could you do better? I mean, a lot of us are in that 2024 goal planning season right now. It's in full swing. So I'm sure everyone is all ears for any pro tips that you have to share with us.
Yeah, I love that question, Karen. And as when we were prepping last week, I had literally just gotten off the phone with product marketing to talk about how we can align better for 2024, and with some of our sales leader around, areas where maybe our collaboration has dropped off and we can continue to put some practices in place. But, the longer I've been in client success, the more it's really kind of been impactful for me to understand that for our clients to be satisfied and to grow with us, that this alignment is critical, right? A practice that we put into place, and I think you've talked a lot about retention strategies early on and why that's so important for growth, but a practice that we put in place with our C-suite is a quarterly, it's actually every other month and sometimes quarterly, a meeting with our CEO and all of the executives that's focused entirely around retention. I do believe that retention is really the root of both satisfaction and growth, right? You can't have either one of them unless you're retaining our clients. So we've put that in place. And when we started that operating rigor, it actually highlighted to me a gap, because I think a lot of us, I'm sitting there presenting, gosh, the reason this client's leaving is because this functionality is missing, or there's a price factor here. And so, each functional area is kind of like maybe coming from a place that's not proactive and really a bit more defensive. And it really highlighted that rigor really highlighted that. So today, all of our partners, those triad you're talking about, are active participants in building those retention strategies. So we're presenting that from a CS lens, but really in the benefit of the entire organization. And those conversations can be so difficult, but what we found is that as we approach it as what I'll call a team sport, it's been a real driver in tighter alignment for us, and has certainly continued to keep us at a great retention rate as well as drive growth.
Yeah, that's awesome. And, Alistair said it earlier, CS is a team sport. I love to hear how well you're working with your peers, and you touched on it, right? The retention and growth. Now we're talking those corporate outcomes and KPIs that we're all tasked with and looking to drive. So just wondering if you could share a little bit more about how understanding and measuring customer business outcomes for Waystar has really changed the way that you've continued to grow and expand both the number and type of clients that you're supporting.
Yeah, there's a couple things I'll touch on. I think when we talk about measurement, I think oftentimes we compare our clients to some of the industry best practices and use that as a benchmark for our clients. I think the challenge with that is that it may not be the most important metric or KPI to our clients. So this is an alignment with growth for our organization, but really for our clients as well, is that we shifted to more of an outcome-based KPI tracking. So meaning we're baselining the client's performance during the sales and scoping process. So early on, we're then aligning those baselines during the implementation process, measuring performance early on through the implementation process, through tactically, through weekly dashboards, through weekly meetings to go through those performance metrics against their baseline so that it's outcome driven versus just kind of industry standards. Sure, we want to get there, but we've only been live for 3 months, right? How are we performing and delivering a ROI for them? So that outcome tracking from getting the baseline has been critical. And in fact, we actually maintain those baselines in our Totango instance. And then I think continuing to talk about alignment. So we take that measurement from the implementation phase, and that's transitioned into CS. So we found that measurement through the CS journey has been critical because we started day 1, day 60, day 90, 2 years, we're still measuring against the baseline of performance. And we found that that's actually helped during the help with sales as well, because we're delivering on expectations that were defined early on. And that has helped with our team and the sales team in partnership being able to kind of drive upsells and cross sells as well. I think the other piece that's around, your part around growth and how we've kind of shifted maybe a little bit on coverage. We've grown a lot, and I think most about coverage and staffing, especially during high growth times. It's been an iterative process. A couple of years ago, we had heard that our clients wanted a single point of contact, and so we sourced or we staffed according to that. And ultimately, we found as we grew is that we had to take more of a team approach. We had to have experts in different areas of our product set that could speak to our clients knowledgeably, so they built a level of trust and partnership. And then we also built specialized teams. So we built an internal consulting team, we built an internal insights team. And so that team-based approach, similar to retention, also from a staffing and coverage perspective, is really some of the ways that we've had to shift.
Well, I love some of the things that you touched on, starting early with sales. It sounds like some really nice, clean handoffs throughout that customer journey, because you're aligning really early on the goals that your clients are trying to achieve and make sure you're working to get them there. So that's incredible. Good tips for everyone listening. You kind of touched on some interesting stuff too, as we talk about the next generation of customer success, what that means for roles. And we're just a couple minutes away from the spicy hot takes panel. We'll have some folks coming on to talk about the spiciest topics in CS. So Madhavi, let's close this out with a rapid fire response, right? Given all the shifts in the market, changing expectations, what skills do you think are most important for this next generation of CS? And which skills do you think are not going to be needed as we move forward?
I think it's twofold. I know it's a hot take. I think it's our CS team members who are certainly always rooted in satisfaction. That's true for sure. But how are they thinking about identifying where there's risk, turning that around into a positive experience for our clients, and then being able to align with sales for growth? Because we are in a high growth environment, and we have to keep our clients satisfied. But I think being able to show that we are committed to our clients' experience and journey, and then being able to parlay that into growth, I think is key.
Wonderful. Well, I cannot thank you enough for joining us today, Madhavi. It's great to see you as always. And I know there's a lot of CS leaders on the line that can learn so much from what you shared today and what you and your teammates have accomplished at Waystar. So we'll keep watching that great growth and wish you the best. Thanks for joining us.